Okay, so we're going to take a look at Selectivor, which is a social media styled platform app for people with food allergies and food sensitivities. It's pretty interesting, and the nice thing I like about this is it's very simple and it does what it's supposed to do and not much more, not much less, which is exactly what you want from an app. Um, so you go in, create your account, that's me, after you've entered all your info and all that good stuff. Okay. And now it says here, the first thing it'll do if you're a new user, it'll take your food profile. So, which would be these sets of questions. And it's going to ask you what kind of diets are you on, what are you allergic to, what do you avoid eating. And you can see they have like everything from Atkins to a low fat to, I mean, you name it, they have it. I mean, there's a ton of stuff on here, stuff I've never heard of. And I'd already gone through and threw at it that I was gluten-free, kosher, and lactose intolerant. It also says that I'm allergic to peanuts and food with peanuts and all shellfish. And it says I avoid eating, so it's things you don't like. So let's say I didn't drink. All alcohol and food with alcohol. Okay. Yes, that looks correct. Okay. So now when you go to your food profile, this should be playing around with it before, but you can go and actually, based on all of your info or your guest info or whoever's you have, you can type in certain kinds of food and see if it would be okay or not. So let's say that someone was making something cooked with bourbon. Okay. And that would be a no-no, and the reason being, I'm on a kosher diet, which is orange, means it might be a problem, but because I avoid all alcohol, that's going to be a no-no. Let's say I want to have some feta. Again, a no-no, but that's a pretty easy one because I'm lactose intolerant and it's kosher. And then it goes and actually gives some pretty interesting information about the food itself and kind of why it is the way it is in terms of dietary stuff. So it's pretty in-depth. Let's say I wanted a steak, so beef. A lean cut of beef. Hey, there you go. We can have it. Say I want some carrots with that. Okay, we're good to go. So I can see what foods are good and not good, and you can see also it does a lot of the database is largely made up of base components and not finished dishes, which is actually a good thing. I'll show you why here in a second. So that's your food profile, and then you can go over to your detailed food list. Okay, so given my food issues that I've set up, it's telling me there are 387 allowed foods, 86 may be allowed, and 149 not allowed. So the allowed foods, you can see it's really broken down: additives, beverages, condiments, fruits. I mean, there's a lot there. So like, there's the seafood I'm allowed to have. And you can see it's all basically fish. And because I said I was allergic to shellfish, there's the seafood I'm not allowed to have. Anything that would be considered a shellfish. So that's kind of how that works. And then on the maybe list, see there's a smaller amount, and says, okay, so let's say I wanted lox. It would be okay, but for the kosher diet. So it allows us to look and see why specifically something may be questionable. Again, popcorn, because I'm on a kosher diet. So what you can do is take all that stuff as you're cooking for yourself or for someone that has these issues. You can see your base ingredients. I mean, because it gets, like I said, down into your additives. It gets into your condiments. Really, really narrowed down pretty well. There's not a whole lot there that you're going to be cooking with that you're not going to find. So that's what I think is the most useful part of the app. And then the other component that they're pushing is a social aspect to it, which is, so for example, you can create events. So I created a dinner party, and I don't have any members on there yet, but say I could share it with the event attendees, the food profile, and the notes. So if I had something that was going to be, perhaps problematic, I could put that information on there, and my guests could see it in advance. The other thing is you can add your members, and I don't have any members already added in here. You can upload your contacts and all that stuff. But you see it gives you the option to search the entire database. So let's just say I was going to type in Ellen. It starts. These are all the people in Selectivor that have that in their name. Now, I don't know who any of these people are, so I'm not inviting them to my dinner party. But well, Daniel Levy looks like a pretty good dude. But anyway, that so obviously I'm not going to do that, but that's what you could do. You can go through and invite and ask people in, and they can share their profile as well, which would then give them the ability to tell you what issues they may be having. For me personally, I don't know how useful the social aspect of it is going to be. I think that for me, it's more about knowing what you should or shouldn't be cooking for people with food sensitivities and allergies. It takes a lot of guesswork out of it, but I can see how it would be very useful for people that have really limited diets, or parents with kids that have food sensitivities, and in terms of birthday parties and stuff like that, sleepovers or whatever. So there's definitely some uses for it. But all in all, it's a really cool program. It's visually very well done. It's very easy to use, which is always important. So you can check it out at www.selectivor.com.